Let me jump right in. Super Crooks is something new. It's Invincible meets My Hero, but focused on the villains. The overall story, however, follows Jupiter's legacy, and if that sounds familiar, it's a comic book that was turned into a live-action show on Netflix. Just to mention, this is a spoiler-free review, and I'll let you know if I think Super Crooks is worth checking out or not. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy the video. We follow our main character, Johnny Bolt, and his life through crime, his life as a super crook. I want to touch on the cons first, and then go into the pros. First major issue I want to touch on is the voice acting. Now, I'm no voice acting expert, so feel free to let me know if you share the same thoughts or if I'm just wrong. But the voice acting just feels off. This is specifically in regards to the dub. The sub is perfectly fine, as usual. It isn't even like a mouth sync issue, the dialogue just feels rough. This is something that gets better in the later episodes, but it just left me confused at the beginning. Like, Johnny is voiced by Jonah Scott, who definitely isn't a chump when it comes to voice acting. No better example than him voicing Legoshi in Beastars. We also have Abby Trott with some pretty rough line delivery at the start. She isn't new to the game either, albeit I think her most recent role before this was just a bunch of grunts, since she's the voice of Nezuko, along with a lot of other well-recognized English voice actors. It's just something that constantly bothered me throughout the start of the show. The next issue, I wouldn't say is a major one, but the first episode just felt so fast. There's a scene on the main character's descent into being a villain. It felt like regular show pacing as everything escalated so quickly.
Ah, cool, a contract, let's sign it!
He goes through some training, goes to show off that training and introduce himself, and then everything just goes to shit. It just happens so fast. With that though, that's really all of my cons. Everything else, well, let's talk about it. The voice acting, for one, I know it was a con and now it's a pro, but it gets much better in the latter half of the show, making the overall experience better as you kind of let it slip out of your mind how bothersome it was at the beginning. The animation is crisp. No surprise since it's done by Studio Bones, which we all know as long as they aren't skipping corners, they can really put in the work when needed, and it definitely shows. When the animation in the show hits, it hits. The music is another plus. I'm definitely no music specialist either, so I can't describe to you why the music is good. I just know it sounds good. Like, listen to a bit of the intro, as much as YouTube will allow anyways. Then there's the story. As I said, no spoilers, but my god is the story engaging. To put this in context, since about 3 a.m. in the morning, and it's like 2 days later as of writing this, I have had a consistent headache that switches back and forth between just a headache and a migraine. And as crappy as I felt, I watched this show in one sitting with no breaks. It was that interesting. It kept me wanting to know what was going to happen next, how these characters were going to be, and how everything would eventually connect. Add on to the fact that the show doesn't do the traditional heroes versus bad guys, it was just perfect. And to be honest, I wasn't expecting it. So it was a very nice surprise. With that being said, if you want my opinion on if you should watch Super Crooks, I think you should. I very much think so. It's another mixture of American comic book heroes and anime, and it's done extremely well. If you have some free time, why not watch an episode or two and let me know how you feel about it.